So it's come to this. Top 10 most complimented fragrances of 2021. I didn't actually really get that many compliments because, you know, I like you, probably didn't really go outside again this year. But I've got to say, now that we're at the end of the year, it's been an incredible year for me and for the Fragrance Apprentice. Your support has been absolutely amazing. The appreciation of the videos that I've done and stuff like that has been wonderful. And you've given me such lovely comments, like this comment from Rafael Riaz. You are the worst YouTube reviewer I have ever had the displeasure of listening to. I'm not trying to hate or shame, but I am being just honest. Please do not give up your day job for this. In one way, that's actually quite amazing. He didn't even just say the worst fragrance YouTube reviewer he'd ever seen. No, the single worst YouTube reviewer ever. Even worse than this bloke.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
It's funny that he says, don't quit your day job, because Raphael, my day job is your mum. And I wouldn't give her up, because she's a lovely woman. Anyway, speaking of Raphael's mum, she did actually give me quite a few compliments of the fragrances that are in this list. At least I think that she was complimenting me. She did have her mouth full at the time, and I wasn't the only one there. Anyway, I do these most complimented fragrance videos for many, many different reasons. The views. Many different reasons, but truth be told, with my other lists, there's usually some structure, there's some usually reason and rhyme behind them, but when it comes to most complimented lists, and I look back on the year, it's just random, or it feels at least very random. There's some fragrances on here that I haven't talked about in ages, or if at all, for a very, very long period of time. I'm going to say to you that the number one is a little bit of an anticlimax. Don't worry, it's not a Ventus or Mont Blanc Explorer or anything like that, but when you see the number one, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that one. Okay, let's go. So this one is Oranges and Lemonade, The Bells of St. Clements, by James Heeley. So this is kind of like Acqua di Parma, but on steroids. I usually do get quite a few nice comments about this fragrance. I think it's just because it's such a clean citrus that's in here that's very recognizable, that really a lot of people enjoy and appreciate. But that vetiver is quite harsh, it's quite earthy, so that's really good with this fragrance. It has always kind of got me some attention. It's never been amazing or insane with the attention that it's got, but it's always done very, very well for me. Number 9 is a recent addition to my fragrance collection. This is Bvlgari's Man in Black. I don't think that you could even believe what I've just seen. That was a fighter bomb. That was actually a World War II fighter bomber. That was absolutely amazing. Anyway, Bvlgari Man in Black. Very, very luxurious, great fragrance. It's got iris, which I really, really do like and appreciate. It's got that classy Bvlgari element. It's got mostly attention from friends, my girlfriend, and recently. So that's why it's so low on the list. I think that over the next few years, this is going to accrue quite the set of compliments. But you already sort of know how I feel. This has been number one on various things, including my autumn, or Dolph Laszlo's autumn top 10. This was number one. A breathtaking fragrance. You've really got to check it out if you haven't already. Number 8 is this. This is actually very, very difficult to get in the United States and in North America in general. So to my UK and to my Northern Europe fam, this is Eau de Michon's by Le Couvent de, I think it's Menemise, but I think it's Mims. That's how Nigel pronounces it from Two Cents With. He's probably got it better than I have. It's a great streamlined vanilla fragrance, very rich with vanilla. It's almost like vanilla with, do you guys have this in North America? Do you know bourbon biscuits? It's like bourbon biscuits, chocolatey. It's like bourbon biscuits with some really, really rich vanilla. Lasts a hell of a long time. But the big thing about this is that it's the price. The price point is very, very, very good for what it is. I've had some compliments recently with this. I had some compliments at the beginning of the year. Nothing major. Just people go, oh, George, that's nice. What are you wearing? And it's always this. I think that it's because it's just so pleasant and has all the different kind of smells that people really appreciate this time of year. Okay, number 7. I haven't spoken about this for a little while, but I wore this in the springtime and it got some very positive attention. This is Dior Homme Eau. by Christian Dior. It's not Dior Homme, it's not Dior Homme Intense, not Dior Homme Parfum. I wore those, Parfum Parfum. I wore Dior Homme, I wore Dior Homme Intense a lot. And, you know, if Dior Homme didn't get as much attention as I usually do, it's probably because I've played that fragrance quite a lot. But like I said, this list can just be a bit random at times. There's a little river down the road. I just went swimming one time, and a couple of people passed me by. Not when I was swimming, when I came back from swimming, a couple of people passed me by. I sprayed this on, and they were like, wow, that is really, really nice. What is that? And I was like, well, it's Dior Homme. So that was a whole group of people who gave me some good compliments with Dior Homme. Sadly, it's discontinued, but I don't know this, but from what Dallas has said, Givenchy released something very recently this year that is, if not identical, basically the same DNA as this. This is icing sugar and iris. This is an icing sugar aquatic version of Dior Homme. Iris with like some nice conventional aquatics that you've smelt for 20 years. Started with Acqua di Gio, was in Profumo, was in Profondo, that kind of aquatic blue nature. With some sweetness, with some nice sugar. A little bit. People thought that it was a bit too mainstream when it came out, and I was one of those, to be completely honest, but it's really, really a banger, and it does get you some very good attention, and in the springtime it will just get you some very, very good attention. So I had a phase of wearing this at the beginning of January, and I wore this in November quite a lot as well, and people really liked this one on me. This is Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. Great fragrance, I've always loved it, always respected it. For some reason, this has been its best year. You know, I was surprised that Tobacco Vanille would even make it onto a most complimented list, because although it is great and wonderful and niche and all those wonderful things that we know about Tobacco Vanille, even though that's all great, not really been a compliment getter. But for some reason, maybe it's because there was a more volume of wares this year from me. I don't know quite what it was, but people really did enjoy this. My girlfriend liked this, some family, some extended family really, really did like this one. But yeah, it's had some good attention, it's great. So you know how I said about this as being somewhat a little bit random? This one I wore again in January along with Tobacco Vanille and some of February. I wore this when we started shooting Grace. Not on the actual shoot date, but I had some meetings to do with Grace and met a few people. And this is what I was wearing. This is Queer Cafe by Happyland. I went through a little bit of a phase of this. It sort of went off my radar. But looking back, I thought, oh yeah, this. I love this, and people around me love this as well. And so this really is what it says, leather cafe. It's kind of like you're wearing ombre leather, the parfum version, the new version of ombre leather. This is more like, and you're in a coffee shop. But it's the way that Happyland fragrances are, that they're quite mild. They're not very strong heavy hitters, which for some people who are intimidated by heavy notes like, you know, the coffee note and leather note, that's especially very, very prominent in things like Tuscan leather, some of the Clive Christians that's in some of the Amouages, these big heady leather fragrances, they're going to be intimidated by that. They won't want it. This is leather, but it's turned all the way down, it's dimmed, but it's like coffee and pastry. It's like coffee and butterscotch, actually, which is very lovely, very, very nice to wear. And yes, around the Grace auditions and when I went out into town in Manchester, I got a couple little comments about this, but there was a consistency about it, and that's why it's higher up on the list. Oh boy. Can we just move on? Number 3, I told you, I absolutely told you about this, 1 Million Parfum. Very likeable, just very, very likeable. I've seen a couple of comments actually recently who, and I feel very good about this, they've said, I heard that 1 Million Parfum sucked, and then you said that it was great, and then I tried it out and I bought it and I love it and it's great. That's wonderful. That's not going to happen to all of you, obviously, but for a lot of you, I would say please just give this a chance. This has gotten me compliments for 2 years in a row now. I really enjoy wearing it, and I think that the reason why it gets compliments is because I wear it quite a lot, and it's that familiar 1 Million DNA that people know and love, and there's a nostalgia vibe. Some people have actually just commented, are you wearing 1 Million? And they look they give this look of superiority as if they've really figured it out, and I'm like, actually it's not 1 million, it's 1 million parfum, but it's all the same to them. And it is similar in many ways, but like I said, it's more mature, it's more streamlined, it's not as wacky and as sweet and as over the top as 1 million, and some people I think didn't like that. Jeremy definitely didn't like that. He didn't like that it was over the top and sweet, but I don't know, by next week he'll love this. He'll say that this is like the greatest fragrance ever. That's kind of what's going on with Jeremy at the moment. The number 2 is a bit of a shocker. With most of these fragrances, you know, we're talking not that many compliments this year. I've had probably about 2, 3, 4 mentions. This one has had 5 distinct mentions. One was even my sister, who I think has actually bought a bottle. Shout out to, I think it's a work colleague who watches my videos. Apparently my sister Hannah says to me, I don't even have to call you anymore because I know what's going on, because I don't know, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, but there's a guy who watches my videos who works with my sister, and so shout outs to you. I'm sorry, I should have figured out your name. I still remembered your name. But if Hannah's in work tomorrow, ask her, because I don't know, did she buy Bobo by Kana? She was one of the people who smelt this on me and was like, damn, that's really, really good. And I said, I know. And she said, I want to wear that. I want that for myself. And I said, well, it's funny you should say that, because this is a unisex fragrance. This is a great white floral Mediterranean citrus fragrance. It doesn't have vanilla listed in it, but I get a little bit of vanilla with a few Mediterranean fruits, some white florals, very, very high quality stuff. Really, really high quality stuff. When you smell this, you are in the Mediterranean on the beach, wanting to go for a swim. This is a Mediterranean holiday in a bottle. Tascam just broke out, unfortunately there, so I'm going to have to record with my phone this final bit. But yes, Bobo's great, it's wonderful. Even if you smell this fragrance and you don't like it, you'll get why it's been a most complimented fragrance. But I said that if you live in a hot country, if you want a very, very wearable niche fragrance, then go for this. I'm going to be doing a top 10, I'm going to be doing a top 10 most wearable niche fragrances to complement the designer one that I did very recently, and that is going to be on there definitely. But number 1, it's just this, innit? Yeah, Ralph Lauren, Polo Deep Blue. Just the fragrance that comes to mind when I thought about compliments. When I thought of doing this video, I thought, oh right, well it's Ralph Lauren, because it's simple, it's safe, it's straightforward, really great oceanic, a little bit of tropical element to it. Lovely, lovely fusion of an oceanic fragrance and a tropical fragrance, slightly nostalgic. Harkens back to the 90s, but with a modern blue twist. Something fun. This has been on various top 10 fragrances that I've done this year, and it's just great if you're looking for a fragrance that's going to get you into the game, that's going to get you in, you know, some confidence and all that kind of stuff. Don't get this right now. Put this on your spring list. Spring to buy list. Spring, summer, if you wear this, yeah, you'll get attention. A lot of the times, not all the time, obviously, but a lot of the time when I wore this and go out and see friends, they'd go, oh, that's nice, George, you smell nice, that's really good, yeah, you know what, that's a good fragrance that you've got there. There's not too much for the general public to hate about this fragrance. This is not a nightclub fragrance, this isn't a going out fragrance, this is a very, very casual fragrance. And so if you're a youngster, hell, you can wear this in your 30s, 40s, 50s, it really is versatile. But if you're just a bloke who, starting out, you've not become like It's Caillou, where this is sort of like on a blasphemous level of fragrances, like you aren't insulted by the very idea of designer fragrances. If you're not like that and you just like fragrances and you just want to smell good and you want to get some compliments, then yeah, Ralph Lauren Polo Deep Blue Parfum is great. Anyway, that was my most complimented fragrance list. Hope that you enjoyed it. And Raphael, I was only playing. You probably won't even see this video, to be honest. But I'll let your mum know, and then you'll be able to see it. Anyway, I'm the Fragrance Chris, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.